Geez, strongman is life for me, man. It's without. I said before in something, you know, like strongman's kind of made me believe I'm more than just another number. You know, it's like being in that, working for someone else. You know, you're just a number to that company. But because of strongman, I'm more than a number. I'm Luke Stoltman, professional strongman, one of the strongest men in the world. So that's something that I can, you know, it's a legacy I'm trying to create for my family, and it is everything at the moment, and it's something that I've never thought possible. I mean, cut 10 years ago when I started kind of doing it, started kind of, you know, getting into it, I didn't ever think that I'd have my own gym, I'd be competing all over the world with my brother, making money from it, being successful at it. I would never thought that. I was just some daft Highlander, you know, going to these competitions that like to have fun. But cut again 10 years later, who knows, this year, you know, it might be a 1-2 Stoltman at the world's strongest man. That's the goal.
So yeah, you spoke about putting the Stoltman name in the history. What does that mean for you? Like, is that everything? Or?
Yeah, man. I mean, geez, it's. I remember my granddad. We called him Opa. He's Polish. He came across from Poland during the Second World War, and he, fucking hell, man, he was a worker. He used to work in the peat fields, fencing, and such a hard worker. And I think back to him, and I said again a few times, but there's a picture of Opa carrying this big tree trunk and just laughing. You know, it's like, that's what I envision us to be. You know, it's like, that photo was like, wow, that's mental. You know, to think that a grown man's lifting that tree, and now for Tom and I, you know, to be putting the Stoltman name in the history books, the first brothers in history to ever reach the world's strongest man final. So effectively, the strongest brothers that's ever lived is like, it's so mind-boggling. Like, I can't even put into words how it feels. But I'm so proud of our name and what it means. You know, it's in Scandinavian, it actually means proud man, Stoltman. So I'm very proud to be a Stoltman, and I want it to be, when people talk about it in years to come, like they mention Stoltman, you know, it's strength. It just means strength. That's all I want it to be, and good people. You know, I hope that we don't offend too many people, but I want us to, you know, be remembered as being good people and kind of being, you know, that kind of people that maybe put the strength map, or put Scotland back on that strength map, because I think that's where Scotland deserves to be, and hopefully there'll be a few little Stoltmans coming up the kind of family tree, and we can get them into it and kind of keep that kind of strength kind of going with it.
Yeah, because I mean, around the world, when you think of Scotland's there, like it really is Highland Games, all that kind of stuff. And I mean, we spoke about earlier, it's like kind of settled down a little bit. And now with you guys coming back up, when you grew up, was it still known for being a strength country?
I think so, yeah. I mean, there was all the Highland Games in the smaller towns still, but like when I was growing up, when I was younger, we had Highland Games here, and there was always the kind of local strongman show, kind of weight over bar, tossing the hay bale, welly boot, shot put, hammer. And there was always that type of aspect to it. But nowadays it's dwindled off a little bit, which is a shame, because it's so historic. The Highland Games is such a beautiful, historic sport that it deserves a lot more. So hopefully with Tom and I kind of being at the forefront of strength in the world, I'd really like to help kind of recreate that kind of buzz that the Highland Games, and maybe do some kind of crossover strength Highland Game kind of things, which would be awesome. But it's tough. I mean, it just goes with the times. I mean, how many kids want to go out and throw a hammer nowadays? You know, there's a lot of Xbox, kind of iPads, and, you know, which is fine, you know, don't get me wrong, but I think we still need to have that strength at the forefront as a man. I mean, you want to be strong, you know, you want to be able to kind of defend, you know, if anything happens, if I'm out with my wife or if I'm out with my